Hello and welcome to This Week in Frax. It's the Flywheel team. We got everybody here.
What up?
We have
What up?
myself, Samuel McCullough. We have Mr. Kit himself. How are you?
GM. Good. How are you, Sam?
I'm great. And then we also have Mr. DeFi Dave, who is currently walking
I'm
in the
walking.
Brazilian rain.
I am. I'm walking up a giant hill, but I make it every week to This Week in Frax because that's what we do best here, delivering content to Fraxmas, the curious and beyond.
Yes, so I actually wanted to start with you, Dave.
Yes.
You posted up our grant proposal for 2024, and it was good. Thanks for putting that out there. I know you put a ton of work into it, and you have been out there kissing babies and greasing palms and just politicking as we work out a way to get this through in January so that we can fund Flywheel into 2024.
Yes. Funny. When I was in college, I studied political science, and everyone was like, "You're going to be a politician, Dave," and I did not realize it would be like this. So, but honestly, I just want to say, everybody in the Telegram chat, everybody in the forum, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart just for supporting us. At Flywheel, we have been grinding for the past year and a half, producing and creating and distributing the best content for Frax and DeFi and everything in between, giving updates, creating evergreen content. When we started, if you guys remember back when we started, we just had this singular, we're just going to do this podcast. We're going to improve the stable. We're going to improve the Frax narrative. We're going to improve the stablecoin narrative. And now we have grown to a whole plethora of content. We're throwing events in real life. We're really making a name for ourselves. We're getting better and better. And it is without a doubt that we're going to make 2024 the best year ever for Flywheel and for Frax. It's now more important than ever, for us to all step up. I mean, every year we ask for like a bigger and bigger grant, and that doesn't mean to slow down. It actually means to put the pedal to the metal, especially with Fraxdoll coming out. So the grant, with the grant, listen to the community, heard everyone's thoughts. We did make amendments to the proposal, and it will be up for vote soon. So for everyone that supports Flywheel and supports us and supports Frax, make sure you vote yay. Coming up next week. It will be greatly appreciated because we love what we do and we want to keep doing it, and we want to keep repping Frax online in real life. And I promise you, you'll be greatly impressed, and we will exceed expectations. Whatever you're thinking, we're going to exceed it.
Yeah, that sounds great. I also want to thank everybody as well too for the feedback. It's been nice to see members of the community come out and support Flywheel. And, we're here for you. So,
yeah.
And we listen to you guys on a daily basis, and we take all the feedback. So thank you for it.
Yeah. And we know whether you support us, whether you had criticisms, like we all want the same thing. We all want the best for Frax. We love all of you. And, I promise you, this will be the best year yet for Flywheel. This will be the best year yet for Frax. Flywheel is Frax first. It has always been Frax first. We are Frax centric. That has been our core mission, our core objective is to push Frax to the masses and push Frax beyond. And we're going to keep doing it for everyone that's listening, for everyone that's not listening. And we're really excited for 2024.
Well, very cool. So we had a couple of stories that came out this week. The big one was on LENX, which we published today, yesterday on Thursday. And this covered the kind of rebranding and relaunch of LENX, previously Renaissance DAO. And they are making waves in the Frax community by launching a XPTC, which is a new type of decentralized Bitcoin wrapper using Zetachain.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Did you see how they got completely destroyed by MEVs, Sam?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. That was really unfortunate. I think the issue that at hand with that was that they were adding liquidity into a Uniswap pool where there was almost no liquidity. So the Uniswap pool had been created, but you know how the price gets off. And so they just decided to add a lot of liquidity single-sided at a very wrong price, and it immediately got arbed away, unfortunately. I think that, it's a bad mistake, but I'm sure they'll continue to push and grow. So
it was not a mistake of malice. It was a mistake of slight incompetence, sure, but nothing that they can come back from. I'm sure they'll be more careful in the future. I have to give it to them. They might be the most successful crypto rebranding I've ever seen outside of Maddox and Polygon. Going from Renaissance DAO 2 years ago to still building in the bear. Frax gave them a seed investment while they were Renaissance DAO when they were an Ohm fork. And the fact that they didn't just give up and kept trying to figure out, well, what's the right product market fit. Kudos for them in that regard. And how they generated a lot of hype for themselves. That's huge. Like, I mean, I'm really impressed. I probably had 10 people contact me asking me, hey, have you heard about this LENX? What do you think of LENX? Are they backed by Fraxchain? I was like, let me find this out. So I talked to the LENX team. Like, I know they mean well. They're grinding for the past few years, and they're down to build. And I think they picked the right product, to be honest with you. Bitcoin. I think there's this new revitalization with Bitcoin that you see happening with whether it's inscriptions, orders, Bitcoin DeFi with stacks, and they're in the in between that and with Frax, and using Frax's primitives such as BAM, and using the Frax suite of financial primitives. I think it's really unique. I'm rooting for them. I'm supporting them. I want to see them succeed, especially because they're going so all in Frax. And it's really interesting to see how they raised $10 million from this narrative and from saying backed by Frax. They're able to create this mystique about themselves that if someone is going so all in Frax, and they have the right intentions and mean well and are down for building, have been grinding in the bear, which is not easy, I think we should support them.
So Frax controls 2.5% of the XD token that they launched. Frax gave a $250,000 investment back in 2021 when they were Renaissance DAO. And at the time they were building a NFT index where they would acquire different types of NFTs, and then it would go into like a treasury. And unfortunately that didn't work out, but they were able to pivot, and now they're back with XPTC. We did conduct a 10-minute interview with John, who is one of the founders over there at Renaissance, and we have that up on the Flywheel Twitter and then also the YouTube as well too. So you can go and watch that and learn more about what they're trying to do. Interestingly, I think I think they're still scoping out like what they want to do with XPTC.
I agree.
But the asset is a start, right? I mean, you look at the space for other types of decentralized Bitcoin, and really it seems like there could be a big player that comes in. The only real option other than them is TBTC, which has $60 million in market cap, and then also Synthetics' SBTC. Those are the two pools on Curve for BTC. So they'll be the third edition here.
What about WBTC?
Well, yeah, WBTC is issued by like a centralized entity, right? Yeah.
I know it's interesting because I know Fraxchain's looking to build its own Bitcoin stablecoin eventually. So I wonder, how this will play into that.
I just don't think the unit economics work out for Frax. I mean, we talked about this last year when Sam was kind of bringing up Frax BTC discussions. It's a lot of work. They probably have to spend maybe like $1 million to $2 million worth of developer time and audits and everything to make this work. And where's the yield come from it, right? Like when they could just add WBTC or XPTC into Fraxland and profit off the bar there. So
could you have a Bitcoin stablecoin backed by Bitcoin ETFs?
The reverse.
The reverse ETF, yeah.
The reverse. We come full circle.
Yeah. I just think there's, we looked at the economics of it back last year, and the size would just have to get incredibly large for it to make sense. And there's just better options for them now with the L2, with Fraxdoll that they're launching, and other things that would potentially bring more revenues into the DAO at a quicker pace.
Yeah, yeah. Apologies for the background noise. I am walking in the jungle, basically.
Walking along the road, apparently.
Yeah.
So we did write up an article about LENX today. You can check that out on flywheeldefi.com. The other big news of this week is that we had the Rage Quit happen for VST. This has been a long time coming. This was the third proposal passed. First, it was like 7%, then it went to 10%, and now they've gone to 20%, and it did pass.
I'm sure all VST holders and stakers that were in that pool are very pleased, very happy.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. They get their capital back. They take the hit, and 20% is a lot, but a 3-year lock on that, which most people were in, they could probably make that up between now and then.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What else do we have on the docket?
So we had the official name of Fraxchain come out, and that's going to be Fraxdoll.
Yeah.
So bullish.
FRAX.
Who came up with that?
What?
Who came up?
And who came up with that?
I think it was you, Dave.
It was me.
Oh, snap.
It was me. Because my whole thing was when Fraxdoll started to be in the conversation in June, or even around then, I was thinking Frax on the application layer with, in the terms last year's narrative of stablecoin maximalism, having all these different primitives. I'm like, oh, like Frax is just a fractal of DeFi. Frax, they have the AMM, they have the lending market, they have the LST, they have the dollar stablecoin. It's a fractal of DeFi. And so that's how I originally came up with the name Fraxdoll. And then, I'm like, oh, they're coming out with like a roll-up, and then they're going to have L3s and all this stuff. Fraxdoll should be the name. And then, for a while, like Fraxchain was the working name. And now it's seeing it as Fraxdoll, that's pretty cool. I think that is the right move, seeing it on the timeline now. It looks a lot cleaner, it looks a lot better, it looks original, looks fresh. I think it's really sharp. And it definitely differentiates itself from just being like, oh, another, this chain, that chain. But not that there's anything wrong with that. But for Frax, I think if it was called Fraxchain, people would be like, hey, is it an app chain? But like, no, like from what I'm learning about Fraxdoll, it sounds like it's going to be, how they have data availability. It's less shit. It sounds like it's going to be money availability. That's how I'm trying to pitch the narrative for Fraxdoll.
Nice. I'm very excited to see how it goes. And we're going to see it hopefully within the next 20 days. Sam said at the end of the month, which is just coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the big news that we had today to wrap up on was that Circle is planning an IPO going into 2024.
I know that was coming off the Bitcoin. I'm seeing that now. This is like the reverse of PayPal. Like PayPal was a public company, then they came out, to release a stablecoin. Now Circle, that's a private company, it's going public.
Yeah. I'll be adding it into my my stock portfolio 100% once it launches. It's going to be a pretty incredible company.
Yeah. It's the best business model known to man, stable.
Yeah. So last year, Circle had been planning a SPAC. Do you remember like the SPAC thing where you have like, it's such a weird setup.
Yeah.
You have like a company that like you IPO through, it's quite complicated. Yeah. An acquiring company. And at the time, Circle had been planning to debut with a $9 billion valuation, which seems kind of low, right? They're making, I think the article that we put out today, I think back in that for the first half of 2022, they made $770 million of revenue, or sorry, $770 billion. Wait, a billion? Hold on, let me double check this. But they had a lot of revenues for that time period. And, the company's probably making hand over fist right now with interest rates being at 5%. They have $25 billion worth of stable coins right now. They're getting 5% on that. So what is that, like $1 billion a year in like just pure profits from their interest income? It's pretty crazy.
Insane. The best business model known today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be adding it to my stock portfolio. Do you guys have any like crypto stocks that you guys invest into?
I have Coinbase.
Coinbase.
Yeah.
What about you, Kit?
My stock portfolio is literally Coin and Tencent.
It was interesting with stablecoins. Now, it used to be the difference between Tether and Circle. Circle is the onshore U.S. dollar. Tether with the offshore U.S. dollar. Now you have this whole different level of difference, a whole nother dimension. You have Circle, which is going to be a public level, and Tether, which will probably never go public. And not to mention, Circle is going public in the U.S. They're going public in the deepest liquidity, most liquid market in the world. So,
yeah,
huge.
Yeah. I personally have Coin and Marathon, some MicroStrategy, and Riot.
Do you have any Long Island iced tea?
I should.
Long Island blockchain tea.
But Circle will be added in there if they go to IPO. Yeah.
That's so bullish. Just changing your ticker, your company name, and to gain like, what was it, like 20-30% market cap in like a couple of days.
It was like 500% in a day, I think.
Oh yeah. It was like some radical number. I was like, hilarious. I also saw.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
And I was gonna say like about the Tether and Circle. Like, I saw some on some Telegram channel that Tether market share increased by like 25% since like the middle of this year, like early of this year. And I think it's because if you look at it, it was like almost right after the March situation of last year with the SVB stuff. And then you just see like USDC's market share just shrink from that point onward. So I think it's going to be quite interesting for them to come out of that. Their stats aren't looking as good as it once was.
Yeah, that's true. But with access to public markets, they'll be able to raise capital and hopefully get their market share back up. And since Frax is essentially like tied to USDC as our collateral, it matters for us, right? That's why we saw a 10% jump in the price of Frax shares today as people were bidding up the news. And if USDC goes back up to $50 to $100 billion worth of supply, I mean that directly affects us in the long term.
Positive, some stablecoin. Yeah. Let's not forget the news that broke this week of PayPal, PYUSD, and the PYUSD Frax pool going up to $135 million on Curve, becoming the third largest pool on there. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
All I know is that I reported that on Frax Check this week, so you would have known on Tuesday if you had watched already, and you also would have known that it was actually 110 mil in the pool, and then 26 mil of or 24 mil just holding vanilla in the Treasury wallet, and I just can't wait for us to get paid on providing that liquidity.
Yeah, same here. Frax is putting itself in an excellent position for all these fiat collateralized stablecoins. If they want to get into DeFi, Frax is there to hold their hand, and in return, Frax is likely to become the DeFi stablecoin of settlement. And so another narrative on pushing something that Sam said on his Facebook back last month.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Perfect.
But also to note, guys, this pool is Frax PYUSD. It is not Frax base pool PYUSD.
Yeah, it's just
it's a factor pool, isn't it?
Yep.
So I don't know, but this could be the start of another base pool, because I'm pretty sure it was very purposeful and intentional to not use Frax BP and use Frax itself.
You know what's surprising, Kit, is that the largest Frax pool on Curve is actually the Frax SDI pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
How big is that pool?
$167 million.
Oh shit, that is bigger than everything. Okay.
So there's $135 million worth of Frax and $30 million worth of SI in that pool. I had not seen that one.
I did not. I didn't even know that pool existed. So I'm very surprised to hear that.
Frax is quite the large holder of SI.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they probably did. They probably like rehypothecated all the SI that they hold into that pool, so that the Frax could, essentially like trade against it, and then earn 3% on top of that from the curve.
They can mint Frax into the pool, trade against it, and also earn some nice emissions.
Some very nice liquidity management.
Man, we can't keep getting away with this.
Yes, we can.
How do we get liquidity, yield, and everything? And now we're gonna get our own L2.
Not just L2. We're gonna see a thread, maybe 2 threads, coming out very soon from Sam King himself about what to expect from fractals and incentives, and it's gonna, it's coming very soon, guys. I hope you're ready. I hope you strap in. I hope you're ready for a liftoff.
Yes, we are. Well, cool.
And if you're interested in building on Fraxdoll, please reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you, and we'll get you connected to the right people.
100%.
We're your guys.
Very cool. Well, that wraps it up for this week. Dave, why don't you take us out?
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to go ahead, hit that bell button, subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Give us a like. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials at Flywheel DeFi on Twitter, TikTok, and Telegram. Make sure you go ahead to our website, flywheeldefi.com. Subscribe. You won't want to miss anything. You'll thank yourself later. And make sure you vote for us and our governance proposal to fund Flywheel for 2024. Go do that next week. And you can follow me on Twitter at DeFiDave22.
You can follow me at 0xcapital_K.
And I'm at traders_insight.
And we'll see you next week.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Oh, yeah.